this talk is more about how to automate this test to avoid missing some checks. So my point of view is that for the community, we need such a tool to be able to enforce the security of PostgreSQL cluster in the world. And because in my DBA life, I see a lot of PostgreSQL cluster with very few securities. So we need such a tool. Some words about me. I'm the author of PG Badger, PG Formatter, PG Clue, and a lot of extension and other tools for Postgres. I'm also the CTO of the ExaCluster company, which is specialized in database migration to Postgres and PostgreSQL support too. She's a company that is sponsoring all my developments and all the tools that you can find on my GitHub repository and some other GitHub repositories. Thanks to them. So the question is how to secure your PostgreSQL cluster and what to check exactly. This is the main question. The problem is to know all the checks have to be performed, and there is several ones, as I said. So hopefully there is a document what was created by the Center of Internet Security, CIS, which gives almost all the list of the security checks that have to be performed on a PostgreSQL cluster. So it is available online for free. You just have to register and you will have this document. There is also some recommendation from the DISA, which is for most of the part redundant was with the first one, but and it's much more difficult to read. So if you, but there is a lot of information too. Yeah. About data check security, there is a lot of articles produced by the European community, which is under the law GDPR, called GDPR, where you have a lot of recommendation to, and this is a law, to protect user data privacy. So I will not talk about this here because what I will present you is very new, and I have not had the time to work on it, but it's on the way. Yeah. There are different areas where we have to check security, and the first one is operating system. At operating systems, there are a lot of security questions, but I will not talk about the Linux part. This is the job of the sysadmin to secure your Linux box. Here, this is just the checks that must be done for DBAs. So, ensuring that your PostgreSQL package comes from a no source, and especially I recommend to use the PostgreSQL repository. This is something especially for maintaining your PostgreSQL cluster and upgrading your minor version. Looking at if PostgreSQL is started at boot can be something valuable to do, and especially verify how you are following the minor version in your PostgreSQL cluster. This is really important to follow the minor version. And same, it's it's often that we can see some PostgreSQL cluster with several minor version back from the current one, and it must be checked every time that you have the last one version, especially for security updates and bugs, of course. About the SUDO, you have to be sure that no other Unix user on the Postgres cluster is able to use the PostgreSQL cluster privilege to escalate the privilege on the PostgreSQL cluster. Yeah. This is very important. At file systems, there is also several things that must be checked. Some of them are already checked by Postgres itself when it starts, especially the permission on the PG data or some other checks. But some are not done. Especially one I recommend is check if the PG data has checksum enabled. This is not something that is part of the CIS recommendation, but I think it's something that must be done to be able to detect silent corruption on your PostgreSQL cluster. The different partitions, this is to avoid filling disk and having a DOS with such a configuration. Some check here are not part of the CIS, as I said. I have had around 25 additional checks because of my experience and why we can see in PostgreSQL cluster. Of course, PostgreSQL configuration must be checked. This is very important, especially the runtime parameters that are started by the backend. It is possible to have a DOS, especially, for example, you can disable the use of the index in the PG catalog when you start Postgres. So it's important, and if you disable this kind of index, you are sure that your client will have a lot of performance issues. So it is important to check that someone at one time have not changed these parameters, and etc. Other parameters, all parameters that are start by the backend at runtime can be checked automatically. All the other one, postmaster, CGAPs, super user, privilege, and runtime must be checked by the DBA. So the objective of the tool here is to present this all these parameters to be checked by the DBA. Logs. This is one of the most important part for securing your PostgreSQL cluster. You have to be able to get whole trace of what happened on your server, or at least be able to know where the problem come from. If it come from outside, or this was a local connection, etc. It is easy with the wrong configuration to not log everything that should be interesting for the DBA, or even worse, to have nothing in the logs. This is really easy with a misconfiguration to cannot find anything in your logs. So it's very important to check that, especially tracing connection, disconnection. It's very important to know at which time someone has connected and could have been done something on your server. Ensuring that you have a logline prefix on your PostgreSQL .conf that is compatible with PGBidger. It's important too, and it's a recommendation of the CIS. So I'm pleased to add it to this tool. ensure that the log directory are outside the PG data. Now with the SSD disk, we can see that most of the log directory stay in the same directory in the PG data. This is really something to not do, because with each log, you can fill your PG data too. You might also want to enable an audit on your PostgreSQL cluster with PG audit, the extension PG audit, which is allow you to trace exactly what the user have been done, and especially for all the DDLs that has run on your Postgres server. So this is something you have to consider. User connection must be enforced. This is something. This is where it starts for most of the attacks. Ensure you have a password complexity enabled. If you have an external authentication like LDAP or GSSP, maybe you have already something, some enforcements in the password complexity. If you create the user in the PostgreSQL instance, you don't have any possibility to enforce the complexity of the password, except by using an extension. I would recommend you CredCheck, which is an extension with doing a lot of things to enforce the complexity of the password, and it also gives you some more advanced feature to enforce the connection from the user. Authentication timeout also is something that must be verified, and authentication delay. It's important to limit the possibility for a user to repeat tons of connection on your server. You have to stop that at some point. With CredCheck, for example, you can ban a user that have, let's say, three connection attempts, and you can ban it if the 3 connection fail. So this is something interesting. Of course, you all know the trust method in the pghbf.conf. So the tools need also to check your pghbf.conf to see if it is well configured, if it is not too much permissive, especially I have seen some installation with, honestly, the person don't know exactly how the net mask and the IP address masks works. So everything, this was an open bar. So a tool that can check that and verify that there is not a mistake, it's a good point. This level can be critical also for data security, especially for excessive data privilege, super user, create role, create DB, and the set, the function privilege, which are the security definer clause. Encryption at some level also are need. Especially, I think the PG data need to be encrypted, but it really depends on your security policies. But this is something that you may want to check. SSL, TLS must be enabled. You can also check if you want the FIPS enforcement, OpenSSL cryptography enforcement. I have given the link if you want to enable it. And it check also if you have a PG crypto or PG sodium encryption library. So let me introduce PG DSAT, which is a a tool that aims to perform all automatic check about security of a PostgreSQL cluster and collect all the information that the DBA need to check manually. You know I love Perl, so this is a Perl script. With no dependency, it don't bother to install tons of dependency. You just put it on your Postgres cluster and it will work. It performs all security check by calling system command and PSQL command. So you don't need anything else on your cluster. It is a multi-language. There is one translation in French or one translation in English, following where you come from. There is two kind of report, HTML, which I recommend you, and text. Text perhaps it's better if you want to make some diff on several runs. There is about around 80 security check. This is a tool that must be run as Postgres user. If you have set a PG pass or all your PG environment variable as set, you can just run the command and send the output to a file. You can also set the usual parameter with PSQL to connect to the instance, choose the format and get an output. And what kind of output? This is the HTML output. You have first in the report the summary of all the checks that have been done with a check if it's set correctly. So green, it's okay. Red, it's there is a problem. It's not well configured. And if you see the square, empty square, this is a check that must be done manually. So all the 80 tests will be presented like that. And after that, you can click on in any check to see the detailed report. And for each check, you have a detailed report, which is explaining what is the check have been done, and if it passed successful, or what problem you have found with this check. There is warning, there is critical, for some parts, there is critical part. Maybe it should be reviewed because this is a first draft of the application, so maybe I have to review this. You can see full example of this report on the internet. I have put them on my website. This is a fresh program, so there is a to-do list. Most of this system, I have planned to work on this system in the year. I don't know if I can be able to end all this works in the year, but I will try. I have in the idea to also with this check to be able to detect if you have some misuse in your store procedures with identity object, identity name object. So, but I want also to develop an extension to act as a firewall to not to prevent in SQL injection in your in PostgreSQL Security. Contributing is important. As I say, this is a new tool, so I need a lot of feedback. I need feature request, and I need more check. So we have discussed yesterday night with Julian, and we have found some new check that have been applied to the release. But there is some other in the to-do list. Don't hesitate to report bugs. There may be some. Report feature requests and give feedback. My objective is to develop a tool, a community tool, to be able to enforce the security on the PostgreSQL cluster. So if everyone use it and contribute to this tool, we can have something common for all together. And this is the objective. Thank you.
Thank you.